So we're here today with Dayn Pullen, who's the general manager for Noelke-Wilhelm Ranch, which is east of Menard, Texas. And Dayn's got a pretty good sized operation here. They bought several 1000 Gs, as you can see. I believe 6 to this point. And I'm going to have him spend just a few minutes here and tell you about his operation and how the feeders fit into what he's doing here. So Dayn, take it away.
Well, we raise American Savannahs and purebred Spanish, and it's just me and my wife out here, and on weekends when my son ain't in school, him. But at certain times of year when we have kids up here at the pens that are pre-sold or going to sales and stuff, I mean, to keep them fed and get them ready, go through all the phases that they go through, tagging, scrapey tag shots, all that. Feeding everything by hand is not only time consuming, but pretty hard. I'm getting older every day, so these feeders go off 6 times a day is how I have them set. And man, it just keeps the goats in much better shape. They don't get fat, but they stay healthy. And it's just a good system. Dang sure cuts down on time and labor, and is just overall healthier for the goats. So
Better conditioning and Now these goats are these goats that you're going to take to market, or are they breeding goats, or how?
Seed stock goats.
Okay.
We sell seed stock goats is what we advertise anyhow. So hopefully we sell some pretty good nanny kids. And but man, like I said, I don't keep them up here long. We're pretty hands-off operation. They're pretty ranch tough goats, but when they're up here getting ready for stuff like that, you got things to do to them, and they got to have something to eat. So there's no better way to do it, I don't think, than those feeders.
How were you doing it before?
By hand.
By hand. Gee,
Yeah, pin by pin, hand. You know, it was horrible.
Yeah.
And then we tried some old wooden creep feeders, but you know, they can eat all they want all day long like that. They get fat and out of shape and bloated, kind of like I am right now, and it ain't good for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an athlete's supposed to eat small meals throughout the day.
Right.
The same thing. They just are healthier and in better shape, and just overall look better.
Small portions and in timed and limited amount, right? So they're.
I don't know, you know, anybody could do them how they want. I set mine go off at 6 in the morning,
all right.
9, 12, 3, 6, and 9.
Okay.
Depending on how many goats are in the pens, you know, maybe just a second or 2 or 3 at a time.
At a time. And typically how many goats do you, of this size, do you put on a feeder?
30 to 40.
30 to 40. All right. Seems to work pretty good for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they all have plenty of room to get around it.
All right.
And like I said, they got 3 hours till the next feed, and it don't take them long to wipe it out. But and you can adjust them. They're easy to adjust. And you need to add a few seconds here and there, but man, the goats just stay healthy.
They just stay healthy.
And so does my back.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I like that. We got enough to do.
Great testimonial on the go easy on the old man's back, and yours truly included with that one. So, And how do you fill the feeders? Do you drive up and hand fill, or?
We actually have a big double axle trip hopper feeder, 6,000 pound feeder.
All right.
And we go to Jacoby's Feed and Seed over in Melvin.
Yep.
And get it filled up with textured feed.
Got it.
We get from them.
Yep.
And I'll just pull it through here with a skid steer. Actually, I got wired up to run it. And it's got a 10-foot auger on it, and we pull up to one, pop the lid open, run the auger out, and fill that sucker up.
Piece of cake.
Used to do it by hand, you know, especially when you had all the old wooden ones.
Yep.
So I didn't like that, and the wooden creek feeders were horrible as far as this kind of operation.
Right. And you, based on the construction on these things, you expect them to hold up. I mean, they're holding up pretty well, and you think they'll last a good long while.
Yeah, they'll outlast me.
Okay. I guess that's all that matters, right? That's
Yeah,
what counts.
The goats will try to jump up on them rain guards every now and then,
Yep.
but they just slide right off.
Yep.
They hadn't torn anything up.
Haven't torn anything up.
Like
Good.
I said,
All right.
the side step to step up on and check the level. I can step up there, and it don't phase it. They're easy to fill,
Yep.
and we have filled them by hand before when we couldn't get some
You
bulk
have.
feed fast enough.
Yep.
That's not hard at all.
Not hard. If you have to, you can. But it's yeah. So compared to what you're doing before, you were hand filling all those wooden creep feeders, and then you were you know.
Well, I couldn't control
Getting
what
inconsistent,
they ate,
yeah.
when they ate, and
Yep.
of course, like I said, filling them by hand. And the billies, when we do have billies up here, they tore them up. They tore the roofs off of them. They'd move them around.
Yeah. And they don't do the same thing with these guys here.
Right. And there was so much feed waste around those. I actually built 10 by 12 floors
Okay.
that I'd set those wooden creek feeders on, because the pens would get so nasty. I'd come in here with skid steer clean, which took forever. But so I built these floors to put them on with some wood edges around them, and I'd come in here and pick that floor up, chain it to my boom, and bang it off in a dump trailer.
Yep.
Well, that sped up cleaning the pens, but it didn't stop the waste. And it'd rain, and you
Yep.
have 3 or 4 inches of wasted feed
Yep.
on that metal floor. Just stank,
Stink
maggots
and
in
a
it,
mess. You can't hardly clean up, and
it's just horrible. There's no waste whatsoever.
right. Yep.
And unless
Yep.
you get a sideways rain, it don't get wet.
Yep.
So
Well, that's good to know. Anything else you think is important for somebody who's looking at these? I mean, is size of operation a limiter? It too small or too big, or?
I don't believe so. I mean,
All right.
if you need to save time and labor, which a lot of people do, they're worth it. And over the years, you're going to save it back in wasted feed, health of your animals, things like that. Because
Yep.
especially when we were feeding on the ground by hand, or then got the wooden feeders, you'd lose a goat here and there, because it's just a lot more unhealthy
Yep.
on the animals.
Yep.
The pens were unhealthier. I sprayed them with all sorts of stuff, trying to keep the diseases out and stuff. We don't do any of that now. Everything's just clean and healthy.
Okay.
No wasted feed on the ground.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, it's real clean out here. It's dry. It's neat. No slop. It looks really good.
The hay is the only thing that you get a little build up on, and I come in here and rake that up with a skid steer and haul it out, a couple times a year. That's no problem. But man, there's no feed on the ground, nothing. I love it.
Well, and anybody also, just one more little, let you put in a plug. Now you raise dogs too. You raise Pyrenees.
Yes, we raise Pyrenees and Anatolian. Mainly the Anatolians are to cross with.
Okay. All right.
And we're on the A&M breeders list. Anyway.
What are you listed as on the
Just
A&M
one of
breeders?
the,
Just Dayn Pullen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So look up Dayn Pullen, DAYNPULLEN. And Dayn, I appreciate you walking us through this afternoon. Just came from the Texas A&M Sheep and Goat Expo over in San Angelo, and it was well attended. And I was surprised over there. I even ran into quite a few cattle guys that are looking to get into goats to complement or supplement they're not making anything with beef on the hoof, so they're looking toward goats.
We got about 40 head of really good cows, but they don't make the money.
Yeah.
I just keep them around because of the grazing benefits. I think goats and cows go good together.
Yeah.
Goats are the money maker right now, and we got, like I said, the purebred Spanish, Kensing bloodline, and full blood and purebred American Savannahs.
All right.
Quite a few of both.
Well, good looking operation, and appreciate all the info you gave me. And we'll hopefully we'll be back for a little bit more. I'll be out and around going forward in the future. And if Dayn's got some more info, I'll sure get him on video. So Dayn, thanks a million.
Yes, sir.
And
Thank you.
we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.